Now I'm changing the scenario a little bit. The present value, future value. Somebody is telling, okay, I have to change the screen here. It's time value of money. I'm changing the scenario. Instead of $100 2 years from today, $121 today's value, just one single sum. I'm going to make more than one amount. What if somebody will tell you, I'm going to pay you $100 every year, next 3 years? So this $100 future value from today, how much future? 1 year from today. This second $100 is how much future from today?
2 years.
2 years. This third, 3 years. So did you notice that something is this equal amount and equal term, interval, time interval? Am I right? The pattern I'm talking. Equal amount, 100, 100. The amount doesn't change. Equal term, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Equal term. Definition. Annuity. So we have to talk about present value, future value, single sum amount, $1, according to your table, $1, one time, versus annuity is more than one time. So what can we do? If we do not have another table, it's called Unwieldy Table. Let's say you used to have two tables, this table, your dog, your puppy in your house, the dog ate this table. So you only have one table available to you. No problem. What can you do? It's a 10%. Oh, I didn't say 10%, right? I'm making 10%. I mean, you have three calculations to do, right? First $100, you are using this one, right? So it's a $90.09. I just multiplied by 100. Second one, $82.64, 65 cents, round up. The third one, the $75.13. Did you notice that? The $100 is shrinking, am I right? $100 shrinking. So which $100 is the biggest? Please tell me. Which $100 is the biggest? So the first one is the biggest. Again, less term, less time, higher value. I talked about that earlier, did not? The second one, a little bit lesser than first one. Third one is the least out of three. So you can do three calculations adding up three. But what if I say $100 next to 50 years? You need a 50 different calculation you're adding up, right? You don't have that kind of time, right? And very cumbersome, right? Let me close this door because a lot of people is on the cell phone. So therefore, somebody, for convenience sake, they create another table. So therefore, you have four tables. Two tables for present value. One for single sum, one time. Another one, annuity. Future value, same thing. One, single sum, one. All right, so let's just do it. Okay, so here's the present value table. You have to go to the right table, right? You are moving right to the left in timeline, right? So present value. I equal 10. N equal 3. I found it. Multiply by $100. So I can do that. I don't need your calculator. $248.68. Okay. I'm going to write that down before I forget. How much? $248.69. I round up. So what is this number represent? No, present value. That's the now value. Now, remember we are sitting right here. This is the present value of $100 in next 3 years every year. Equivalent. a hypothetical student who never learned present value, future value of money, he or she might say this. When I say, how much is the $100 3 times the next 3 years? He or she might say,
$300.
$300. Then it breaks my heart. I'm going to just faint here. I'm going to just, all my lecturing last 1 hour, it didn't do any good, right? I mean, but he or she has a point, right? Nominally, right? Do I have $100 bill? I don't think I have $100. $300 bill, that money, unless you have termite problem, is still there, right? If you do termite, they can eat your paper, you know that? Right? The 300, that's nominal value. But I'm telling you, at 10%, that's $300 is $248.69 if you get paid in today, right now. Not to mention uncertainty. Well, 3 years. Do you know what's going to happen in the future? Uncertain, right? How about the inflation? That's your econ professor's job, not my job. Buying power. So we are not talking about that at all. We are not talking about buying power, inflation. Just number one, it's finance term at 10%. How much would it be? So if I say this, are you ready? 5%. I'm sure at this point now you are getting the feeling. I changed the 10% to 5% drastically, right? Cut it in half. This number is bigger than this number, less than this number.
Bigger than.
Yeah, bigger than that number. As interest rate goes down, price of bonds goes up. Inverse relationship, I mentioned that. Bigger. That's why we have to talk about this in chapter 1. So that's the annuity. So annuity, you can go forward, you can go backward, right? So handout I gave to you. I'm not sure I gave this handout to you yesterday.
You did, yeah.
I did, okay. So you all have a handout, so I'm not sure if you can project it on the screen. Clearly this is, I don't have an electronic copy on this computer. So here's the exercise. I ask you to do this at home. I'm going to go through some of them here, but the more exercise you do, you feel more comfortable going left to the right, timeline, present value, future. And also this will be 99% of your bond homework. Trust me. It's all about, if you read chapter 15, all the illustration is about getting the present value, which is the pricing of the bond, right? So over here, I put annuity, three questions for annuity, present value, annuity. Right? So what I just talked about, if I can summarize in a nutshell, this is so in a minute I'm going to do some of the questions, but let me come back to this screen. Okay. Measuring bonds payable interest expense. Right. Here's the timeline. Here's the today's present value. Here's the future value. I just want to recap this. This future can be 20 years from today, 30 years from today. The principal payment. We are the corporation. We have to pay back this at the maturity of the bond. During the life of the bonds, we have to serve interest payment. So we are the one who has to pay the bondholder. So how do you measure in accounting? When you have involved this long time horizon, you cannot just using nominal value. You have to using present value. So selling price, what are you selling?
Bonds.
What are you selling? Bonds. To who? Investors. Through where? Capital market, New York Bonds Exchange. Of the bond is determined by market, interest rate, market mechanism, supply and demand, market, your econ teacher, based on time value of money. So that's a underlying concept, but here is the one sentence I summarize the entire chapter 15. One sentence. How about that? Do you like that? Lots of homework question, exam question, multiple choice question, all those questions is about this. Selling the bonds today I say today. As soon as I say today, you will think about
Present
present
value.
value. That's right. Even your calculator has PV as one of the button choice, right? If it's not on the button, it's probably you have to push the yellow function and the PV, FV, and PV if you have a sophisticated enough calculator. Anyway, so selling price of bonds at today is equal to, please follow this slowly, please. We can talk about this as a chorus. I'm the conductor. Right. Present value of future cash flows. Wait a minute. Present value of future cash flow. Are you thinking future cash flow? True. Interest payment and principal. Flows. Plural. Promised by the bonds. Promised by the corporation who issued the bond. Discounted using market rate of interest rate. Word discount is not the same as word discount you can find in Valley Fair shopping mall. It's different wording. It's a financing term, which means you are converting into present value. So future cash flow you are converting into today's value. So that's one sentence. Okay. So next class session, I'm going to talk about all this. I'm going to actually using this example. So it's a CD corporate sells $100,000 bonds having stated rate. That's the contractual rate, 7%. The bond will mature in 3 years. I know that's a very short time. Interest is paid semi-annually, which means every 6 months. Market rate is the one relevant because market rate is the one determines